Right, so tonight we are going to try and finish the bot off. We're going to try and finish it off. So we've got the code break overlay to do, and we've got and what I was thinking of was maybe how to put a cooldown on the background change. So when the background changes, there is a fixed amount of time before it can change again. And so if someone tries changing the background, then it won't let them do it unless a specific time frame is gone past. So that could be the last thing. And then I think that's the basics of a bot in place, except for the alerts, which looks like we're going to have to do the Twitch APIs for them, I think. And so I need to look in that a bit more. Look in the TwitchIgor Python library to see how we can include that into the bot. So, right, the first things first. Let's make the code bigger so you can see it. Oh, not that one. That's the web. This one. Right, is that big enough? Is that big enough, or do we need it bigger? Can't have it too big. Yeah, that'd be too big. That's too big. You'll manage. Right, so first things first. Gary's been having a problem with the matrix, yeah? Because he's got two matrices running at the same time. And I've got two now. I've got another one. I've got another. Oh, it's a bit low, that is. There we go. You can see them all now. I got two matrices now. I haven't set it up yet because I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to get two pins into the same bit. So I might have to get a breakout board for it. We're running on the Pi 3. Right, we're running on the Pi 3. It's been behaving itself all day. It's been behaving itself. But we'll put it in the Pi 5 if we need to, if it starts throwing a fit. But because Gary's had two matrices, he's having to talk to it twice. You know, depending on, he's got top display and bottom display, I think it was. So I changed our code to try and help him out. So here we are. This is the matrix code, and there are subtle differences, right? So the first difference is that the queue and the semaphore is now a set. Is now a set object, and you'll see why I've called it a set in a minute. Instead of being one queue and one semaphore, because there's two displays, we need to have two queues and two semaphores. One to control each display, because one display could finish before the other, yeah? Because one has a shorter message than the other, and we need to have two displays with their own separate queues and their own separate status semaphore, yeah? The threading routine has now two arguments being passed in. One, the device. What's the device of this thread? And two, the device number. And you'll see why we'll need the device number in a minute. The code is exactly the same, but we are now using device number as a prefix, one for the queue and one for the semaphore. So for each matrix we'll have its own semaphore, its own queue to work with, yeah? So that means that when we pop it based on the device number. So device number 0, 1, I presume there's 2, 3, 4 if you can have more than one. As long as the device number is representative of the queue, this will work fine. So we set the semaphore for that device, we show the message on the device, and then we set the semaphore back for the device back. Yeah. So I've copied Gary's initialization object initialization signature, which is sending in the cascade value, sending in the device number, and setting the chip select number, which is the pin, the GPIO pin number. So now everything is self-contained. So the object is now self-contained. Yeah, we're not having any global variables. No, there's no global device, no global serialized serial variable. It's all self-contained. So the object looks after itself. So we create the serial interface inside the object that's only available inside the object. We create the device inside the object that's only available inside the object. And we set the device number to the device number that we're passing in. So we know that this is device 0. And we know this is device 1. Yeah. And then we initialize the semaphore and we initialize the queue. And I've got here just to prove that it's working. As soon as you initiate the object, it will send a message to the matrix to say, I'm online. Yeah. And then show message is exactly the same as before. The only difference is we're using the device number as to specify which queue it's going in. So this is saying put this message into the device number that's held within me. Yeah, not the device that we've fixed elsewhere. And then we've got one more thing on the thread, and that is before we was just setting the target and relying on global variables to look after everything else. Well, now we haven't got global variables because we're going to have multiple matrices. So we're going to send in some arguments that the function that we're threading takes on board. So it's going to send in the device of that object as well as the device number. And it worked quite happily. It works with 1. So I don't doubt it will work with 2. So if we spark it up, now the overlay is the Pi overlay, so hopefully it'll refresh. There we go. We'll start the bot off. Right, with initial. Oh, right. So it's initialized. So it's GaryMeg was last subscriber for 2, Clark S&C, and Gary was 10 bits. It's missing some text, so we'll have to look at that. It should be saying 2 months, but we'll look at that in the JScript. So, I'm going to send in a message. Here we go. And that's because I've set up device 0, yeah? So I presume you saw that it said the matrix was online. But what I've done in TwitchBot is I've gave it the parameters. So I'm saying I've got a four segment display, device 0, and I'm using GPIO pin 8 as the select chip select pin, which is pin 19, I think, on the board. Where's my bit of paper? Yeah, 19, I think, on the board. So there you are, Gary. The object can now run 2 displays, and all you need to do is, so this would be like, for example, matrix 1, and then you would create matrix 2, which would be, and whatever the pin for that is. You said 24 something. Something like that. And then you would just use self.matrix1.showMessage, self.matrix2.showMessage, and it would actually go on the right ones. Yeah, it's I've got the picture of it here. Hang on. I got the picture of it here because I downloaded it because I was trying to learn. I was trying to do what Gary was saying. So the pins, the numbers that you see there are the board numbers. Yeah, the board numbers. Yeah. What you see down the sides are the GPIO numbers. Yeah. But there must never be a matrix 4. No, there must never be one. So the GPIO pins don't represent. The GPIO pins are they're actually the chip pins, aren't the BCM pins? They're the BCM pins. But the board pins are relating to the actual green surface, the board pins. So Gary's using 24 pins 24 and 26, which is GPIO 8. Which is the default for device 0, and 26, which is GPIO 7. Oh, right. Chip enable 0, chip enable 1. Oh, I didn't realise there was a second one. So, when you put it on this Python code, you don't put in the pin number. You have to put the GPIO number. So in this case, it's 8 and 7 if I add two screens. And that's why in the setup, it's GPIO pin 8, not board pin 24. It's GPIO 8. So that's how I sorted that out. And I have created more than one instance of this matrix, even though I haven't got anything plugged in, and it didn't error. So I assume it's sending the data to the right card, but I need to plug my Prezi in and figure out how to do it so I can have a second display on there. But I will be putting a second display. Probably be on this surface here. So message 1 here. This surface, there'll be another one. Let me just. So it's gonna be like this. So it'll be something like that. Something like that. I think. If I can get away with it in there. But thank you, my donator, Monsignor Gary, thank you. Much appreciated. And it will get used. I've just got to figure out how to connect it up. I was thinking of getting some GPIO splitters or something like that so I can plug them in, but we'll see. I'm not too keen on having a breadboard on there, but if push comes to shove, then I might do. I'll just put a breadboard on the top, something like that. But there you go, mate. So that's how I recoded this matrix routine to allow more than one device, yeah, without having to create two separate routines. All you do is create two instances of the objects. If you call it this top display and bottom display, then all you have to do is say top display.show message text, bottom display.show message text, and it should do it. It will have its own text queue, messaging queue, and stuff like that. So it's once I get the second display plugged in, because I'm not too sure. You say you're using 26. Hang on. Am I using 26? No, I'm using GPIO 18. Right, I'm using GPIO 18, pin 12. That's for the fan LED. You know, this white bit. We do fan on. That's what I'm using for the fan LED on my bot. And on my bot I've programmed in fan on and fan off as well to keep the because I'm moving away from the Node.js bot. I'm going to use this one. Even though it doesn't do the automatic alerts, but it will do. Version 2 will do. We'll come back to this and we'll figure out how to do the automatic alerts and get the bottom 3 things done. So yes, this bot works on a Raspberry Pi. The problem is, if you want to use it on a PC, you have to rem out the matrix. You have to rem it out because this doesn't work on a PC. Doesn't like it. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Well, I don't mind when I put it on my Windows 10 box. It wouldn't run. I had to rem out the entire matrix bit. I had to rem it out, and the fan bit, the fan on and fan off bit. Right then. So as you can see, our overlays there, and where we left off. Well, I've got to run the bot again. Have you noticed something? Every time I run Python, I get this poem. The Zen of Python by Tim Peters. Beautiful is better than ugly. Explicit is better than implicit. Simple is better than complex. Complex is better than complicated. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know where it's coming from. Did it say that the bot was online? I missed it. Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know where that poem's coming from. It's the tenets of Python. Oh, okay. You've got a virus and you've been hacked. Well, if it is, it's on the Raspberry Pi. Right, so we've got the codebreaker overlay, yeah? So if I do start codebreaker, ooh, I've got to spell it right for a kickoff. Oh, what have I called it? Oh, start game. It's creeping up through SSH. Start game, code, breaker. There we go. So we've got this overlay that sweeps in and wipes out the chat, yeah? And we are going to put in the current state of the game, yeah? Going to put in the current state of the game. And so what we need to do is we now need for the codebreaker code to send messages to the WebSocket server, which then can pass them on to our server. So if I fire up another Chrome, so we've got it here. Pi Twitch bot, it's not that, it's this one. So there's our overlay. So we're going to go into the codebreaker overlay. So this. So this is our codebreaker overlay, and I'm going to stretch it so we can see the bounds. There we go. There's the boundaries. So the dotted line is the visible area in OBS, right? So the dotted line is the visible area in OBS. This is our game area, yeah, which slides in and goes away and goes away when the game's finished. So what we need to do is we need to start coding, and I think we started coding, didn't we? But I think I think, hang on, F12, we had some errors. Oh, there it is, object. Right, so if I do a guess, there we go. So we've got it talking to us. Right, so we've got the bot talking to the front end, and as you can see on our overlay, in OBS, it's come back with object of classed object. So basically, Python has sent JavaScript an object, yeah, which is not really what we want. Not really what we want, because the object is called old school coder. Gary, have a go. Have a go. Because I need to show what I'm trying to. Just have a go, yeah. So what's happened is Python sent our JavaScript an object, right, called old school coder. Now Gary's had a go, and it sent an object called GaryMeg, which is not what we want. We need a generic object being sent to JavaScript so we can grab it and mess around with it. At the moment, it's no good to us because we don't know who's going to play, so we can't anticipate the object name. So we need to create a generalized object so we can work this thing. All right. So what I was doing over yesterday was trying to figure out what sort of generic object we need to send it. So let's just minimize that and get Mastermind up. So it's this. So this is the problem. Are you trying to do it, are you, mate? This is the problem, yeah? So what we need to do is we need to yeah. Oh, we're going to do something else as well, but let's let's get it started. So we need to send our JavaScript a generic object. A generic object because at the moment Python is sending JavaScript our data, and JavaScript is interpreting as there is an object class called old school coder, there's an object class called GaryMeg, there's an object class called whatever, and we need to normalize that. So when Python sends it, JavaScript looks at it and says, oh, it's an object array of all the same type. And so what we need to do is we need to generalize the the settings, yeah. And so this is the sort of thing that I came up with. you trying to figure it out? Is it hard? Hang on. No, it's on easy, mate. It's on easy. The shuffle's not on. So what you're seeing is representative of the number. So 684 is your number. You've just got to find the last one, yeah? There must be a 3 in there. There must be a 3. So it must be 3, the last digit, because I put a 3 and I got an answer saying 3 was in there but in the wrong place. There you go. So we're gonna generalize it. So we're generalizing it to this structure here, yeah? So attempt number and the result. But what's happening is we're sending the player name across as well, and that is being interpreted by Java as the class name. right? So we need to do some manipulation of the object before we send it to Java. Yeah. And what we need... So what we need to do is we need to, before we send our attempt to Java, we need to do some manipulation of it, yeah? And we need to do it here in the game update, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of the game player data that's in Python, because we want to manipulate it, but we don't want to destroy the player game data within Python. We don't want to destroy that, but we're going to make a copy. So we're going to call active players, right, is equal to self.player game players dot copy. So we're going to make a copy of it, and active players is what we're going to mess around with. Yeah, we're also going to create an array. Right, because we need to send an array of objects. We need to send an array of objects to the JavaScript platform. So, and we're gonna just in case, we are going to clear that array just in case it remembers it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through our active players. So we're going to run through the active players. So if there's more than 0, we're going to run through them, yeah? And we're going to add our active player so this what's that's doing, it's going to add our object that we've got in Python, and if we go back to this screen, so you'll see, we'll use the last one, which is, so there are 2 objects that's been sent to the screen, one called GaryMeg and one called Old School Coder. This is what we want here. That is what we want. So we are going to pop the first item. Now the first item is the name, GaryMeg, yeah? And that's what this pop item is. So that's saying pop the name into the array, yeah? And then instead of sending self.gameplayers, we are going to send this instead, our array of players. All right? It's tricky trying to explain this, but you'll see what happens when we run it. So if I'm going to stop this now, I'll restart it. There we go. So let's bring up our thing. We'll refresh. So this is our space, right? So there's our area. So we'll start the game again. There we go. So it's slid on. Right, and then right, so Gary's had a go. So straight away, look, we have got an array. So now we have got an array that's got now GaryMeg as item number 1. In fact, now we've got 2. We've got Norb and GaryMeg. So now we have got a generic object where the first element of that object is the name, Then the second element is the data that we want to use to show on the screen. So now we've got, as you can see, we're starting to get names on the screen. We're starting to get names on the screen. And this is great. This is what we want. Yeah? This is what we want. So now what we've got to do is got to take that data, that's been fed from Python into JavaScript and then utilize that data in JavaScript. Right? So while you're messing around with that and trying to suss it out, what we need to do. So 4 is definitely in there. 6 is in there as well. 4 and 6. So it's something 6, something 4. Remember, it's not on hard mode. Oh, nice guess, Gary. Nice guess. So it's something 664. Has anyone tried a 9? Ooh, it's a double. Oh, right. So it must be 66664. Try 6664. There you go. It'll be a lot harder when hard mode get implemented. Right. So we've got Codebreaker. Now we're using index.js for controlling the screen. But the problem is you get an array. You get an error down here where it tries to initialize. Because if I try initialize, right? If I initialize, we get an error, look, here. Because we're using the same JavaScript, it's looking for the same messages. And so when it goes, oh, I've got the initialization message. Well, hey, let's get on with it. But the problem is, that page doesn't have any of the controls that are on our main overlay. So what we need to do is we can't use the index JS. So we have to create another one. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another one. So we're going to copy that from down there and we're going to put it down here. But this time we're going to call this code. In fact, we're going to call this game status JS. That'll do. That'll do. And so we're going to create a new file. And we'll go into index in here. So first things first, we need to copy some things. So we need to copy all this lot here. Yeah. Because we're still talking to our WebSocket server. So we need to initiate another connection to the WebSocket server, connect and have the disconnect, all right? And then what we need to then get from here is the game, here we go, the game start, game update and game end. So we'll take them out of that because we don't need them in there and we'll put them in here, right? So this is now going to look after our game overlay. So this JavaScript is going to be dedicated to looking after our game overlay. Overlay. Yeah, it is an overlay, isn't it? Oh, I was thinking, am I saying the right thing here? Right. So we've got our HTML page. Trying to find it. There it is. So we don't need Mastermind anymore because we now know all the data's being passed along, right? So we don't need to look anything in there. We've got the data in a usable form in JavaScript that we can mess around with. So we just need code breaker, game status. We don't need that. We don't need that. But we do need our style sheet because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of styling. Yeah. All right. So here's our HTML page for code break. Yeah. For the game status. I mean, we called it code breaker, but it's going to be the game status because I'm using it for Wordle. I'm using it for Wordle. And we've got our application, which is the dotted line. So if I come here, let's just scroll over a bit. Yeah. So we've got the application, which is the dotted line. Yeah. That's this bit. So this is what you see in Twitch. Yeah. So this area is what you see in Twitch. This is outside the Twitch overlay. And inside this black zone, right, which is this game status area. So this is the black zone, yeah? So if we look first in CSS, we should have it already there. There it is. So there it is. And we've said that it's black on black. Now, we're going to have a bit of a problem with black on black because we have got black and white pins. So, what colour should we use? Because we can't use black. We can't use black. So what colour should we use? I'm using grey on mine. But what do you think we should use? I'll give you the choice, and we'll try and implement it and see how we get on. Yeah. Commodore Blue. Do we know what Commodore Blue is? Hang on. This one here. This Commodore Blue. Right, so it's that colour. Okay, let's put that in there then. Vic Cyan. Ooh, yes. That would be an interesting colour. Is there one where it gives us the colours? Because I don't... Is that cyan will be the same, wouldn't it? Right, so what we'll do is we'll put both colours in. Right, so I'll rem them out. And... Oh, I've gone to the top. And we will put them both in, and then we can make up. We'll make up the mind. We'll make up the mind which one to use. Yeah, I've used the same one as the C64, so we can see what it looks like. Yeah. So if I press refresh on here, there you go. That's the cyan. Yeah. So that's the cyan. Or if I rem that out and unrem that. And press refresh. There's your blue. So you got the choice, right? I presume if we're going to use blue, we'd have to use a lighter colour font, I suppose. And if we use cyan, we'd have to use a different colour. So let's colour. So for the blue, I think we should go with... let's do true to form. So it's the light blue, isn't it? Yeah, Commodore Light Blue, that's this one. Can anyone remember what the Vic colour was? Can anyone remember what the Vic colour was? It blue? Was it cyan on blue? Well, no, the Vic border was cyan. It was white, wasn't it? White on blue. Yeah. So it was white on blue, not cyan. So it's cyan border, but white centre. So we'll do cyan on blue. We'll make it the blue. We'll make it the blue. This colour here for the Vic. And we'll see what it looks like, yeah? We'll see what it looks like. Alright? So we'll start with the C64 colours, and we'll look at what the well, yeah. I mean, we can do whatever we want, mate. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe we could simulate the Vic and the 64, I suppose. So we could, because the 64 colour, the 64 screen is the border of the text, so it's light blue. So we could do that. Hang on. Let's do that. So so we're going to need border dot style is going to be solid, I suppose, and then border dot width is going to be 5 pixels. See what that looks like. So refresh. Is that? No, we want it bigger than that, don't we? 15 pixels. We just want to give it the impression. There we go. Just the impression that it's a Commodore screen. Yeah? Like so. Something like that, yeah? Use the correct font. Right, well, we can certainly do that. We can certainly do that, because I'm not sure if I've put the font in here. No, I haven't. Right, did I put the font in mine? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yes, we did. So that's there, and we need to copy that and put it in game status. So font size, font family is equal to that. There we go. So we'll see what that is, and we will copy this as well into border style, and there we go. So it's just border color. Border color needs to be the same as the text. No, border color is cyan on this, isn't it? Background is white. The background colour is white. The border colour is cyan for the Vic. Right, there we go. That will do for the moment. I've not been able to find a Vic 20 font. I've tried and tried and tried. Try again. Is that a Vic 20? Ooh, is that a Vic 20 font? It's not quite Vic 20 font, that isn't, is it? That is not Vic 20 font. It's too wide. It's single pixel. It's like a pet. It's like the pet font. Let's try that. And I bet that's not a pet font. Nope. It's more like a pets. Yeah, pets font. Right. Let's be a bit more specific. Commodore Pet Web font. Ooh, this is looking... That's the fella. That is the fella. Right. Is there an online download of this? Oh, you have to download it. Really? There's no way to do an online? We'll download it. Oh, he's got an example in it. How do you use the font? Let's have a look. Oh, right, okay. So we have to do font family. Okay. We can do this. Right, where's that font? So we need to, which ones do we need? All of them? Yes, we need all of them. Right. Let me just... Let me just send them to the Pi. Right, paste them in there. Right. So we will see if that works. So we'll see if that works. Right. So I'm going to put something. I'm going to put something in here so we can see if it works. Yeah. Cool, we've been squirreling. Now that isn't it. Game title. Have we... We're in game status. Game status. I wonder if it needs a space. Try web page font pet. It's meant to be this. I don't think it's fine. I don't think it's finding it. Let me, if that's the URL, let's put this in. If it's meant to be here, oops. Let's try that. Oh, it's not liking that at all. See, that's another download. I don't want to download. I want to just go straight to it. See, that's what I want, but there's... Is this what you're on about? Commodore Pet Font? But why? We need to... Oh, it's a true type font. I don't want to do that. We want a web font. So you can import it straight into the style sheet. So that's a true type font. Right, so what are we doing? Okay. Right, so we're going to get rid of all this. So they're saying just need to do that. So I'm looking at a different website here. Look at a different website. You know, how do you implement a wolf web font? So, and we need to put that on the end. So we'll do that. Oh, it's done it. Right, let's see. Let's see if we get any better luck. No! Why not? It's there. Oh, it's there. It's even got a letter on it. So there's the wolf. There's the wolf one. Unless I need to put a hyphen in it. Hang on, let's put the hyphen back. Right, let's put the 64 there. Let's put the 64 font on it. See if the 64 font comes through. Where is it? Game status. Here we go. Why are you not changing? I wonder. Let's go back and put that. Let's see if that does it. No. Right. Even that's not doing it. So it's definitely got... So it's definitely using it. It's definitely using it, but it's just not showing it. What font's that? Have I set in the font anywhere here? Right. Let's do that. There we go. Right, that's the 64 font. Okay. Right, that's the 64 font. So we'll copy that. And then we'll put the pet font in. We'll try it with the dash in first. There we go. Right, we've got it. There we go. So we've got a pet font. We've got a pet font that will do the Vic 20. So let's go into Vic. Let's do the Vic 20. So color is that. So that's the pet font, and then let's grab that and put that there. Grab that on Remit and put that there. So we keep them together. So this is the C64 font, right? So we've just seen the C64 font. Right, let's change it into Vic mode. Do a refresh. Oh, nice, 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 nice. But we are having a problem with our colour. Are we overriding the colour? Yes, we are. So we need to do that. I suppose we needed to do it on that one as well. Well, let's see if we can get the colour right as well. No, it's still coming out white. Okay. we will take that colour out of the div. We'll take that out of the div. There we go. There we go. There's Vic mode. Right. So we've got C64 and Vic mode. So we'll stick with Vic mode. So what we're going to need to do is get rid of all these windows. There we go. So the game title is the title of the game that we're going to start up, yeah? So we're going to need to, in our game start, we are going to grab the game title. You can do that if you want, mate. I'm trying to do it simple. Remember, we're trying to finish this. Alright. So we're going to go date game title dot inner HTML equals. Now, what does it equal? So we need to yeah, we'll just make it do data. That'll work. Let's try it. Right, I'm going to refresh the overlay on the OBS. There we go. And let's start the game. So start game code breaker. Right, so it's too big. It's too big, right? So we need to then, reduce it down. And we haven't got one, but what we can do is we can reduce it down. So it's let's see, that's way too big. So let's try halving it. All right, let's see what that looks like. You guessing? So you got a 5. So there's 2 5s in there. And there's a 9. 2 5s and a 9. There you go. I got it in one. Right, let's start the game again because we want to see if the title fits. All right. Right, so the problem is we're not seeing the title now. Oh, and we got an error message. Inner HTML. Game title. That's what it's called, isn't it? Game title. Yeah, game title. There we go. It fits now. It fits. Let me refresh that as well on the screen. So we'll do it again. Hey Axel. Sorry Gary, I'm going to restart it. I want to see what it looks like. And it's not done it again. Oh, I wonder. Oh, look at this. It's doing it at the bottom. Hang on, mate. Let me just figure out what's wrong with this. Right, so the title's right. And we can afford to make it go bigger. So let me just make it go bigger. See what it's like. There we go, that'll do. Right. Now the problem is it's not fitting on the screen because the border is too big. So, so it's going to have to be 20, isn't it? It's going to have to be 20. And we're going to have to reduce the width. 275. Let's try that. Try it on there. Oh, it's just not getting on, is it? So we need to make it smaller, a bit smaller, a bit smaller. So 265, let's try that. Do it on stream as well. And shorter. Yeah, I see what you mean by shorter. Yeah. We need it shorter by a big margin. Right, okay. Let's make it shorter. So we'll make it, so we've just dropped 30, so we'll make it 620. See if that will do it. Ooh. I think we've nailed it there, haven't we? Or just a little bit more. So 615. Right, that's sorted it. That looks perfect. Right, so we've got the title of the game going in now. So we need to handle all the user data. So that's on this update here. So at the moment we're just doing game status equals blah 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 and all that. And what we need to do is we need to create a function. So the way it's going to happen, we're going to send all the data to the overlay, right? So whatever data is there, we're going to wipe out and refresh. Yeah. So we're going to create we're going to create a new function to update to do our update. So we're going to create create player player display. So the first thing we want to do is clear out previous display. So we need to create another function called clear out previous display. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to this here, that's where all our data is going to go for the players. So we need to clean out that area, yeah? And the way to do that is to just grab this. So I think it's called game players, isn't it? Game players, yeah. And we are going to remove game players, yeah. So quickly we're going to remove the whole section out, yeah, and then return it back to nothing. But we also need to get game status. We need to find where the element for game status is, because what we're going to do is we're going to recreate it back in, all right? So we're going to recreate it. So here we go. So new game players equals document dot create element, and it's a div region. So that's now created our new element, yeah? Then we need to new player dot set attribute. We're setting the ID to be game players, because we're going to need to know where it is next time around. So we've got to set it, we've got to tell it what its name is. And then what we're going to do is game status, which we've done up there. We are now going to append our newly created region into it. So we're building a block, yeah? So we've wiped it out, and then we've recreated it and added it back inside the game. Oh, what is going on? You better not have crashed. It did. Right. I'm going to put it on the Pi 4 because I've explained the matrix thing. So I'm going to put it on the Pi 4. So I'm going to shut it down. Wait for it to go. Right. Bear me a sec. Right, we're now on the Pi 4, just booting it up. Now, this has been, I haven't been coding on the Pi 3, I've just been letting it monitor what I've been doing on the on Twitch. And the bot itself is running fine. It's just when you start putting the development aspect to it, it throws a fit. Just waiting for it to spool up. Right, we should be there now. I think the boys have upset Mrs. OSK. I think she just kicked him out the lounge. Right, so we're on the Pi 4 now. So if I do Neo Fetch just to show you. Yeah, we're on the Pi 4. Now our Pi 4. Right, let's carry on, shall we? Let's get this party started. So we'll get the WebSocket server back up and running. We'll get our bot up and running. There we go. Right, so we've cleaned out what was there. You been turfed out? Hey, you been turfed out? Hmm? You been turfed out, mate? Hey, you been turfed out? Back up. Okay. Hey, you been turfed out? You been annoying mummy? Hmm? Yeah, you been annoying mummy? Hmm? You're wet through. What you been up to? Hey, what are you wet through for? There. Alright then, I've got to go back to stream. I've got to go back to the stream, mate. Come on. Oh, Nico Cam coming in useful now, isn't he? Right. So, what's the matter? Say again. Is it? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Got to turn the heating on. Okay. Just bear with me, boys. Mrs. OSK's cold. There we go. Did you hear that? Right. Okay. Can you see that our overlay's gone all weird? Because we've taken that thing away. Let me put that back. Because of this, it's taking it away. Maybe we need to put it on each of the bits, but we'll see. I can live with it for the moment. Right, so we're still working out things. So we are now on updates. That was it. After being distracted by Nico. So we've cleared out and we've recreated the area we're going to put all the data in, yeah? So we need to get game status again, because we're going to be doing a lot of messing around with game status, because that is what we are going to use. And also need this as well, because we're going to be putting all the different results inside game player, yeah? So we're going to loop through what Python give us. So what we do, the data, it's the data that we're given. So we're going to do data in there, and where's the update? There it is. So we're going to just quickly do this update. So we're not doing that anymore, we are doing that. So in the data, for each of the elements, so we want data item, and we want data item index. Now we've got to put that in brackets. That's it. And we've got whatever's inside there is what we're going to do. So first things first, console log data item, so we can see what data. Oh my arm's killing me. See what data we're given during the cycle. So when we run this, we'll see the data that's going to be cycled. Right. So we need to create a new area. We need to create a new area for each player. Yeah. So let's create a new area for each player. So game player singular equals document create element, and it's going to be another div region. So this is now dedicated to the player. This area is dedicated to that player. So game player dot set attribute, and we're going to set the ID, and we're going to set it to player dash data index. So when we create it, they'll have a unique ID, so it'll be player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5, yeah? And then we're going to, for this, we're going to add, so game player dot class list dot add, and we're going to add a class, a styling class called game player, and we haven't got that in here yet, so we better create it. So here we go. So dot game player. Now, what are we going to put in this class? What did I say I was going to do? I can't remember what I was going to do. Game player. So we need to make it the same width. We need to make it the same width as the viewport we're talking about. So that's game status. So width is 265. Pixels. We need to give it a specific height. So height. Oh, let's see, 30 pixels, which sounds like a good thing. Then we need to give it we need to tell it what font size. So we need the font to be smaller than the gaming title. So the gaming title is 20, so we'll go with 15. And now we've got the border on, so we got a 15 pixel border, so we need to set the margin. We need to set the margin So the text starts 15 pixels in, I think. So we'll do padding left, and we'll do 15. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a border around it so we can see our regions that we're playing with, and we'll make it width of 1 pixel. So each player area is going to be surrounded so we can see what's going on. Right, so that's the style for the area. Then we need to, in the player area, we're going to have the player's name, and then underneath it will be the attempt number, what the attempt is, and then the result. Right, so game player dot the text inside itself is going to be the data item 0, because when we looked, well, we haven't got it there, so we'll have to we'll do it in a bit. But when we looked, the player's name was the first item in the array. Yeah, first item in the array, second item was the data. Yeah. So that should do it. Okay, I should do it. I don't think I've missed anything. Oh yeah, I have. It's a bit silly. We need to add it. We need to add the player to the we need to add the player to the players. Yeah. So last thing, so game players dot append child game player, and that will add it to the screen. That will add it to our region. Okay, let's try it, shall we? Let's try it. So let's refresh that, and we'll refresh this, and so we will start the game. Right. Okay, they're all on there. So, oh, we've got a boom. We got a boom. What was that? Clear out previous display. Parameter 1 is not of type node. On clear out, line 43. So that's this. Hang on, mate. Hang on. We've got a problem. It's not going to work. Oh, it's new. We're applying new. Ugh. Right, let's try again. Let's refresh. So we're going to refresh OBS. We'll refresh mine so we can see what's going on if there's any errors. We'll start the game. There we go. Right then, let's start having a go. Oh, right, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're getting the data through all right. There's Gary's guess. There's mine. Oh, there's some more guesses. Yeah. Okay. It's all at the top. It's all at the top. It's all going wrong, John. It's all going wrong. Right, okay. We need to set some tops. So in the styles. So, game status. Let's just make sure. Game status. It's game title. We We need to set the style for game... Oh, well, game titles at the top. That's fine. So we need to set game players. Right. So we need to set the top for game players. Ugh. Okay. Right. So we need to set the top of game players. All right. So let's say game player dot style dot top equals, so we've got the hang on, let's work this out. Game players. Have we got a style for game players? No, we've got a style for game player. But we haven't got a style for game players, so we need to put a style for game player in. So game player, because that's the container. Yeah, game player is the container. Right. So oh, game players. So the top of this one has got to be bigger than the title. So we'll say 60. Font size. So our title's 15. No, our title's 20. 15 for the player. We'll try that. And we've got to put the padding in, haven't we? And it was 15, wasn't it? Pixels. Right. It's still adding it, mate. It's still doing it. Have you figured it out yet? I ain't been paying attention. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 4. No 8. There's a 7 in there, mate. There's a 7 in there. There we go. Right, let's refresh the overlay. And we'll refresh this so it takes on the new styles, and we'll start it again. So it moves over. Right, I'm going to have a go. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's a bit low. Oh, rats. Right, so it's a bit low. So 62. And the padding. We're going to have to get rid of the padding. We don't need the padding. We do not need the padding. I thought we might, but it looks like we don't. Right, let's get rid of the padding. So we don't need the padding there, and we don't need the padding there. But we still have an issue that everybody's overriding, and also we're too low. So if that's 60 pixels, so if our font, our header is 20 pixels, we'll make it 25. Make it 25. So 25 from the top. And in fact, we don't need to put the font in there because don't need to put the font size in there because we're defining it in players. Now, but the problem is all our player information is over the top of each other. So, oh, it's in here, isn't it? Yeah, we haven't finished this script. We haven't finished that script off. So the top of that is going to be. It's going to be the. Oops! It's going to be the data index. And we're 15 pixels tall, and we're going to have something underneath it. So that's going to be 15 pixels. So that's going to be 30 pixels per row. 35. Let's start with 35. Right. While you're guessing, I'm going to see what it's going to be looking like. Have you guessed it yet? Well, 317 is bang on. So what other number is missing? What? Right. Okay. Has anyone done? You need to do 317 and then work up your numbers. Hey, there we go. It's 9. Oh, it's come out. Look, look. Hey, up. This is looking okay. I didn't realise that font was that big though. We might have to reduce the font. Hang on. So game player, let's do 12. Let's try that. So refresh that and we'll refresh the overlay. We'll start the game again and let's see what it looks like. Right, go on then, have a go. Oh, that's looking better. That's looking better. Nice. Oh, right, so 7 and 8. Well, it's something 8. Okay. I'm going to do that. All right, so 1, 2, 7, 8. Right, here we go. Get there first. Right, so now we've got the player information in. So what we need to do is we're going to put something underneath here now. So to do the attempt, yeah. So back in the JavaScript. So we've added the player, but we need something to add to the game player, yeah. So we need to add the guess. We need to add the guess, right? So let's create another constant. So game guess is equal to document dot create. So we're going to create another div region, and we're calling it guess. And so we need to give it a style. Whoops. So we'll keep the styles with the names, and so let's create that style before we go anywhere else. So game guess. So game guess can't be as big as game player. Right, so game guess, we want the first half to be the guess and the second half to be what the result is. So 265 divided by 2. Come on. Let's get those brains working. 265 divided by 2. 130, give or take. Yeah, 130. Well done, mate. But we're gonna have a couple of pixels I think the boys are in trouble again. We're going to have a couple of pixels. Room for manoeuvre. We are going to... we need to be down, so we need to set the top. Now we know that the player's name is 12 pixels, so we'll say 15. That gives us a little bit of space underneath the player's name. And we need to give it a font size as well. So we'll do 10, and we'll leave the border. We'll leave this border on so we can see this. We can see the cell inside the cell. Yeah. So that's game player. Have you been thrown out? Eh? Oh, he's walked away. He's walked away. He's not interested. He's walked away. Right. So now we've done the style, we can then. So what we can do is then populate this with all the game information. So game guess dot inner HTML is equal to, right, so we're going to say hash for the number, and it's data item, and everything's on item what? Everything's on item 1. You've been booted out, eh? You shouldn't upset your mum. So everything's on element 1, right? Element 0 was the name. Element 1 is all the stats. So first things first, because JavaScript then evaluates it as an object, we can actually do this. Dot attempt number. Yeah? Because JavaScript's evaluated our data into an object. Yeah? Then we're going to go, right, do that. And we're going to say, right, data item open bracket 1 dot attempt. So that's your attempt. Yeah? That's your attempt. So we're going to put number 1, attempt number 1, and then the attempt. Yeah? And that's the information that we need to put in for the guess. And then, so the guess now needs to be added to the game player, because it's going to be contained within the game player. So the guess is related to the player. So game player append child game guess. Right. Let's see if this works. So we should see the information. So I'm going to refresh the overlay. There we go. Refresh the overlay. And to be honest, I'm thinking of having a different style sheet. I am thinking of having a different style sheet. So let's just quickly do that, because it's screwed up our thing. So let's do a copy, paste, and we'll call this game that. So in sight we will reinstate the things that we turned off, and we'll get rid of everything to do with the game, which is here. We don't need that in here now because we've got it in the other one. And then in this one we need that, and we need that, but we don't need all this lot. So we can get rid of all this lot except for the game stuff. We'll leave the invisible there just in case we need to make things invisible. Right, that should do it. So in here, instead of us going to site, we're going to go site.gameOverlay. There we go. So if I refresh the bot, there we go, that's gone back. Refresh our overlay. I'll refresh it here as well. Right, let's start the game. I have one. What? Okay. There we go. Right, game start. Oh, guess. So there's me. Oh, look at that. Hey, we have got numbers. We have got numbers. So 2, 6. So, oh right, okay. Oh, look at that, you little. Right. Well, that worked. That worked. I think we need to drop down. We need to drop it down a bit. Let's drop it down a bit. So this is the guess. Oh. No wonder. Right, we'll do that again because I didn't rename. Refresh the overlay. Let's start again. Right, so let's see what it looks like. That's better. That is better. Right, so that is better. Nice. Right, so we now need to put the result in. We now need to show the result, yeah? So, let's while you guys play this game and I'll put the result in. So we need to now incorporate the result into. So we need another region. So game guess result. Sorry, game result equals document dot create element. Another div region. Ooh, Kunst. Ain't you figured it out yet? Or have I lost everybody now? So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to add another... we're going to add a star sheet to this. So we're going to give it a star sheet. So let's grab that. This time get it right. So, the result still. So we're talking now. So it's 130 wide, but we need to move it across. So what we need to do is we need to set the left, and so because it's 130 wide for the previous one, so we're going to go 135 pixels to start to 135 pixels across on the road. Still 130 wide. Which might be a bit too wide, but we'll see. Yeah. That should be enough, I think. Right, so now we've done that, we need to then put the result into our new result area. So it's another for loop, yeah? So we're going to go to a data item, 1, because that's where all the data is. Result, because that's what it's called in the object. Result for each. Right? And we're going to have data item result as our item, and then we're going to have data item result index, and then it goes into this function. And you guessed it yet? Is it still going? So inside our result area now, we're going to put the results. Right, so we need to create another div region, and this one is called game result item. Call it that. So document dot create element, and another div region. Do the same thing we did here. Give it a class. So what? Game result default. So we need to put another, not in that one, but in this one. Oops. Game result default. Right. So let's see. We're going to try and make pins. We're going to try and make pins, yeah? So we're going to make it height. We're going to make it 15 pixels by 15 pixels. And then there's this thing called a radius, yeah? Right, so border radius. And this allows you to make a circle. And if you put 50%, that is 50% on each of the corners, which allows you to make a circle. So we don't need this. And the other thing we need to do is we need to tell it that we are inline blocks, because we want them to line up next to each other, yeah? So if we go back here, we can now start adding the results to the collection. Right, so haven't you sussed it yet? I'd put money on it's a 6. I'd put money on it's a 6. Right. So we need to then so if we've got, so we should be able to just do game result item dot inner HTML equals data item result That's it. That would be it. And then we need to add that. We need to add that to our game result. So game result dot append child game result item. We also need to set the left. We need to make them so game result item dot left equals data result index times by, I think we've made them 15, so we need to have some gap between it. So if it's 15 wide, let's make it 22 and add 2, so we got a bit of a buffer. Right. So that should do it. Oh, someone's done it. Yay! Just in time for us to try the next one. Right, so I've just refreshed it. I told you it was a 6. Right. Here we go. Oh. Right, let's do it. Let's see if we get now the results coming up. No. Now, why is that not coming up? Have we got an error? No, we haven't. So why is that not coming up? Because we're not adding it. We are not adding it to the guess results. Yeah, we're not adding it to the. We're not adding it. So we need to do game player dot append child open bracket game results, game result. That's why. So while you're playing, oh, well done, mate. So let's try this again. Right. Oh, it's done it. But they're all on top of each other. What have I done wrong? Oh. Forgot the style. Keep playing. They'll come up here. Yeah, I'll do it then, mate. Alright, so we're getting the results, but the circle's only on one of them. That's annoying. Why is the circle only on one of them? Why is the circle only on one of them? We've added the class to the... Oh! That's meant to be on there. Right, refresh. There we go, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. But the circles seem to be rather big. We need to knock the circles down a touch. So we'll make them 12, be 12. And the result, for some reason, didn't have any height. So we'll give that height as well. Right. Let's try again. Oh, well done, Gary. There we go. That's the sort of thing that we want. That is the sort of thing that we want. I've just thought we can't have a white background. I've just thought we can't have a white background. That's annoying. So we'll change it back to the 64 one. See, nothing. So 9 and 7 are in the right place. There we go. But that still looks pants. So that still looks pants. I don't like the B's and the W's. So let's put some colour in it. Also, we need to pad it over a bit, I think. Need to do a bit of padding. So that's game guess. Let's pad game guess over. Well done, mate. You're doing a sterling job there, mate. Just put 2 pixels on it. So we're padding it over by 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put, instead of putting the letters in, we're going to give it, we're going to colorize them. So we're going to say if the data item result is equal to B, or data item result is equal to W, then we're going to set the class. So we're going to say game result item dot, I'm going to add another class. And this time we're going to add the class game result default, and then we're going to add the data result index. Oh no, we're going to add the data result. Yeah. So here we're going to add two more styles. So we're going to add the black one. So that's basically background color black. And then we're going to do that, but white. And we're going to say background color white. Not wheat, white. So that should now add the colors to our pins. And what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. We don't need that now. We're not going to put it in there. Right, so refresh this. I'll refresh the overlay. Right, so let's start. Read chat. I keep getting the attempt number is the first position. Alright, let's try it then. Right. So attempt 1, yeah? So it's 2, 9, 8, 7. Right, okay. Oh, oh, you're beating me. No. Ah! The last digit was an 8. Ah! Right, let's take those borders out. Because I think that's done it. So let's take the borders out. So we don't... So take the game results out of that. Take the border out of that. Take the border out of that. Right, here we go. So refresh. Refresh the overlay. Start the game. Right. So there's me. I think the result font needs to be bigger. I mean, how's it looking on the screen? Yeah, I think the result font needs to be bigger. So we'll boost that. And we'll boost that. Right, so the name's right, but our guess needs to be boosted even more. Our guess needs to be boosted even more. Hang on. Guess. Font size 12. Let's try that. Oh, well done, mate. Right, let's... Right, so this is now looking to see if we've got the fonts right, yeah? Do you think the attempt and the attempt number needs to be bigger? Hope the headboard's working. Right, so we've got 8 something 8. Right, 6 8 something 4. What do you think that? I think the name's big enough, but what about the guess? Does that need to be boosted? Does it need to be boosted? I'm trying to look on the screen here. Or do you think it's okay? A little bit bigger and the guess spaced over. Okay. Let's do that then. Right, so... And we'll pad it over 5. How's that? How's that? Can you hear that music? Can you hear the music? She moans at me when I have movies on too loud. Move the guest over so it's underneath OLC. Are you sure? Are you sure? Remember, the one on the... Right, let me just refresh the overlay. Right, I'm refreshing the overlay and I'm going to start the game again, yeah? Right, let's stick a couple of tests on there. Are you sure? I think that looks okay. Oh, we have a visitor. What's up, mate? What's up, buddy? Hey? What's up? Hmm? What? God, you can't get that close to the camera. Come here. Come here. Say hello. Yes, you're on camera, mate. You're famous. Right, okay. Well, if that's the case... Right, so how many... yeah, he's... Should see him at the vets. All the nurses just love him. Right, so if you have a couple of guesses, mate. Right, so have a guess, mate. Let's just see how much space we can... Because like you said... If a lot of people are playing this, so that's two. So that's two, and what's that? So we could get what? 2, 4. Let's see. It's the fingers worth. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 people playing before it would go off the screen. That's fine. I never have more than 16 people on my streams. That'll be fine. That'd be fine. never have more than 16 on my stream. Yeah, there's only one on this one, I think. Unless there's somebody else hiding there not doing any guessing. I don't know how many people are on this stream. Well, that's that overlay done. That's the overlay done. We'd have to see how big it would get. How if it would blow a fuse if it was big. But that's that done. And it looks pretty cool on on there. And it doesn't matter that the fact the chat's hidden because you guys are seeing the guesses anyway. This is just purely for, you know, the person who's looking at it. Let's just say, you know, like when we put it on YouTube. At least they can see the things are changing. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. And there's enough space to do Wordle in there as well. Because there's enough space at the end of the pins to add the extra pin in. And there's enough space where the number is for an extra digit, an extra letter. So Wordle will work. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Right, let's try and figure it out. So we got 5, 9. So it's 9 something, 9 5, 7 something. Right, okay. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Hey! And it goes and it scrolls away. Right, now the test is what happens when we start a new game. Right, so the old results are still there. That's okay. We can do something with that. We can clear out the display when we start the new game. So game start. Clear out the display. Right. So leave it there, mate. Leave it there. I'm just going to refresh. Refresh. I'm going to do a guess. Right. And then I'm going to start a new game. Does my disappear? Yes, it does. There we go. That's what we want. Nice. Did I put the matrix in here? No. I put the lightning in. Yeah. Right. So that's it. I mean, it's up to you if we want cooldowns in, where we force the user that they can't change the background colour or the background unless there's a cooldown period. I've got it in mind. I've got it in mind. I don't know whether to put it in this or just leave it. But the code breaker overlay is working. Yeah. I don't know whether to put the calm down in. I don't know. No, it's not important. No. Well, that's it then. That is the bot. That is the bot. So let's get rid of the game. Ooh. No, we don't get enough views. No. So 2 and 4 is in there. Right, 2, 4 and 5 is in there. Oh, what a guess. 2, 9, 5, 4. Oh no, really? Two, 9, 4, 5. There we go. And it goes away. And we're back. Nice. So we've got the top 10. So we have the top 10. That's the OSK points. What else have we got? Background. We've got the title. So you can change the title if you want. So title, coding, code breaker overlay. Does that work? There we go. Coding code breaker overlay. Streamlabs has got a title. Oh no. Well, that's alright. That's alright. I don't mind. So we got the message. And it won't come out on there because it's the Pi 4. I forgot we was running it off the Pi 4. We have the listen. Oi, John, pay attention to chat. So you can make your own listen. Games start game, which we've been doing. We've got the bands. Add and remove points. Add mods. Well, there we go. I think that's version 1 done. Right, config. So we're on episode 8. So version 1.8. There we go. And do we display that when we log on? Yes, we do. Nice. So there we go. One bot completed. And I've got the trace file going because this has been tracking everything that's been happening. And that's going to be in the code as well. That's going to be in the code. And it resets every time you run it. So this actually wipes it and resets it. Yeah. So there you go. One Twitch bot. Nice. So that's version 1. And so the next, yeah, as you said, Gary, TwitchIgor. So the version 2, which we won't start that now, but version 2 is where we try and understand TwitchIgor and start listening to the events, and so we can auto set the subscriber, the last follower, and the last cheer, plus other things. There's a few other things you can do as well. You know, who's joining the stream, so you could have it saying Joe Blogs has just joined the stream, and then Joe Blogs has just left the stream because he's boring. Oh, okay. So I'm going to call that. Now, I'm not going to be streaming on Monday because it's February the 14th and it's an important day. So that's why Mrs. OSK's let me stream today to finish this off. So with that, I will say, well, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure writing this bot. Hopefully you guys are going to use it. I will put it in GitHub eventually, but I'm going to let the patrons have it for a bit. No, mate, I'm not going to do anything tomorrow. I'm going to play Halo. Have a bit of Halo in. And then it's February the 14th on Monday, so I'm not going to be doing anything. I'm not going to be streaming on that day either. Alright, so let's see. Who's online? Who can we raid? Hey, Fresh is on. Let's raid him. Let's go and raid him. Alright then, guys. Well, thank you very much. And I will see you soon. Take care. I'd like to thank all the patrons that are contributing to my channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much.